Hey there everybody and welcome back. In today's video I'm going to do a really quick follow-up of Gappsy. So as I said in the previous video, which I will be linking in the description, I wanted to do a follow-up of the app builder, whether or not you can get a refund, maybe try to follow up on some other concerns other people have had, and hopefully provide a little bit more context and advice to you on whether or not this may be a fit for you. So before we get started, don't forget to like and subscribe and check out the channel for new content. All right, so for a little bit of context, we have Gappsy over here on the left-hand side, which is a codeless application builder. And then on the right-hand side, I am screen mirroring my C-Fold 4. So when we look at this, I have Codeless Fix here, which is the newest app that I built, and that's using Gappsy. So what we're going to do is we're going to make a note of a couple of things here, but I am going to click on this app and we'll install it. I installed it once to do a quick demo video. Now we're going to do this on camera. Now, one thing I want to highlight, which was a concern yesterday, and again, I'll put the link to that video in the description, but you'll see we have 60 Android installs, which is a little bit concerning because when I go to Reach and Devices in Google Play showing Codeless Fix, you'll see that we have our install base here, and it's showing 0 in production. And then we see some interesting statistics down here, but there shouldn't be any installs. And when I refresh this page here, you'll see 0 downloads. Now, I did install this previously on my phone, so I'm sure there's a delay in updating, but it's been on the App Store for maybe 1 to 2 days, and it was in test mode for a while, so there shouldn't be any installs. But again, it could be virtual machines running it to support how this app builder works. I don't know. But let's go ahead and jump in. So the only other thing to note is when we go to App Analytics and compare that to the previous screen, it's a little bit confusing. So we see installs demo, and you'll see we have iOS 300 and Android is 50, which is different from the previous page. So it's a little bit confusing, but again, not a huge deal there. So you'll see demo data, real data will be displayed when your application is published. So maybe that's part of it. We're just seeing demo data, which is what we were seeing on the other screen, which would make sense. But again, it is live now, so I guess, again, it is what it is. So let's go back to the editor. And first and foremost, look at the design screen. So I'm going to install this from Google Play. I think it's a fairly small file. So you'll see, I think it showed 12 or 13 megabytes, which makes me think that this is going to be allowing us to do some real-time updates, which I think is kind of cool. So while we open this, you'll see we get the loading screen, which is what we're seeing here. And then I'm expecting a screen like this, which is now what we are getting. So now let's go to features and show the real-time updates. So first and foremost, when we go here, I added these and they did not appear instantly in the last video. But what I can do just to test this out, we'll scroll over and we'll delete the calendar and click OK. And then we will delete the appointments and click OK. Now, I did not need to republish to add these two. I did uninstall and reinstall. I don't know if there was a delay to that. So what we can do is we can try to click on a different page and see if they disappear by the end of this video. I don't know how long that update will take, or if it'll take open and close of the application. I'm not quite sure. But just to show this in a little bit more detail, so we're at the home page here, and you'll see we have our text. So I'll click on home, and then I'll make a quick update to the application. First, I want to remove the video. It appeared to take me to YouTube, but that was because I deleted the video. So we'll just assume that works. But let's make some basic changes. So we will add in an extra line space and we'll delete this exclamation point. And then we'll click save right here. And we'll see what happens on this end. So we'll stay here for a couple of seconds. Doesn't look like anything's happening. So let's go to the My Account page and then go back home and see if or when those changes are updated. So if we go to Messages and go back home, you'll see that that exclamation point is now gone and we have the extra line space. So the good news for this and that video being gone is that you can make updates and you don't need to publish every single time, which is what you have to do for some app builders like AppGyver, which can be good and can be bad. The good thing is it's instant or almost instant updates. The bad thing is you don't own your source code, so you need to make your decision there. Now, going back through the application, let's test out and see how it works. So let's go to the social wall, and we'll try to sign in with our account. And then we will type in the password, which I just made something basic. And you'll see it takes me back to the home screen of the app. So now let's go to my account. You'll see that we have some passwords, some password change options, the ability to add a profile picture. Now let's see if we can post in the social wall, which I think is what most people probably want to see. So if we try to like our own post, we'll see we have 1 like, which is kind of cool. Now let's try to create a post. So I don't want to allow the location. And then we'll write a message and say hello. And I don't want to add a picture, so we'll just post that. And you'll see that we have the new post here and then the initial post. We can view all of the pictures that have been posted in this kind of gallery option. We have our account. You'll see that we can see edit profile, blocked users, and my posts, which is nice to see. And then just the ability to post. So that portion seems to be working. When we go to learning, I just added in some pages, so there's nothing too important there. Messaging is one where if you were trying to, let's see if I could try to find myself. So there's no other profiles. I'm not quite sure. I don't know too much about this, but we don't have any conversations. So we would just try to, I'm assuming, create other profiles and see if we can chat with other people by searching for them. So in this case, if I were to type in codeless fix, I want to see if I popped up, but it doesn't look like it. Now, the next one is what really interested me quite a bit. So as we're scrolling through, you'll see there's a messaging option, and then there's classifieds and a few others. So one of the features that I thought was very, very interesting as we're scrolling through, so number one, they have this cab ride function. Then they have a classifieds function. And then they have a few others. So when we look, you'll see as we're kind of scrolling through, you have different options. So let's go to the social section. So once this loads, you'll see that we have quite a few different options, including invite a friend, the real-time chat, which didn't work for me yesterday, and a few other options. Now, they did have what looked like kind of like a dating app or feature, which I thought was kind of cool, so I'll see if I can find that kind of scrolling through. But the reason that I thought that that was going to be interesting was it would enable users to basically connect with each other. So it has the swipe left, swipe right, like each other option, but I think that it has functionality outside of a dating app. So for example, if you wanted to have a page to enable people to find others and potentially maybe you wanted to see, okay, let people find each other if they like codeless development or something like that. So it could be a way to set it up to where, other people could find each other and, communicate based on shared interests. So again, that could be something that you might be interested in looking into, along with, again, other features like the loyalty card and some other integrations, which are pretty cool. So at this point, everything seems to be working as expected. I'm not seeing, the messaging might honestly be the app that I was talking about, but I would need to scroll through and see those in more detail to see if I can find the actual one I'm looking for. Now, one thing to note is I do want to go to this messaging section and see how this works, because I'm not quite sure what this is. So I'm going to click send. And it's just a general message that says, hey. So I do want to see if that's a message that's going to get sent out as a push notification or what that looks like. So we'll type in, hey, with 2 Y's and just kind of see what appears on our app. So I'll go to my account. Nothing's appearing in messages. So I was hoping there'd be some kind of a push notification. Now, when it comes to settings, we have some other things we can look into, but at this point, just because this is designed to be a quick follow-up video, I really just wanted to show you that this application builder is able to create a fully functional app that appears to work without any issues in Google Play. Again, I haven't dug too much into the different features, but I think that this is definitely something worth looking into. I feel a little bit more confident about it now that I know that we actually have the ability to publish the app and see it functioning. All right, so I went ahead and got this set up. So I found the actual feature. It's the community feature. I'm not a big fan of the idea of the social networking when it comes to dating apps. I think that there's a lot of risk involved. But for this, I think it could be used for creating more of a virtual community. So I found the feature and I added it. It's just the community feature. And what I did was I closed and opened the app, and it allowed me to access this feature. Now, one thing I do not like is when I try to back out of this, it forces me back in. So I may have to use some Android functionality and multiple clicks on the back button, and it still doesn't let me out. Not a huge fan of that, but if we were to just go ahead and go through basic setup, and let's just say we're born today, and I don't like some of these categories, especially if I was using this for maybe creating a codeless development community. But the cool thing is when we click on community, we can click on custom fields to choose fields and settings to figure out what you want to show. So for example, as we're scrolling through, we can see if it's going to ask for weight, because I'm sure most people may not want to share that. And I would assume most platforms don't even ask for that. So if we go over here and type in weight, it doesn't appear on the page. I'm sure that there's a way to remove that somehow. I just don't know how. And then you'll see as we're going through, so it's really just what's in this page, but you'll see we have tons of options to update things like the text. I'm assuming here would be what we would be updating. So if I type in start and look for the text on this page, you'll see it appears here. I'm assuming we can update most of these fields, but the idea would be if you wanted to have a community for people maybe that want to look into, maybe you have people that want to learn more about codeless development, and we wanted to make a platform that allows them to do that. So let's type in some random things here. And then we'll click continue. And then we'll type, let's just go with these two as our passion. And not a huge fan that, let's see, of the age ranges, but again, let's just keep it simple. And I'm hoping that you can change this, because I don't like that it's requiring you to treat this as a dating app when maybe you want to set things up a little bit differently. Maybe you wanted to have it just to connect people. But I can say that these options here are customizable in this menu over here. So let's go to Find My Match, and you'll see we have my profile, and we have quite a few different options here. So it's got a pretty robust menu. And then you'll see we have a chat option, we have favorites, we have a find match where it'll find people near you. And then when we click back, we have the ability, I don't know if we actually have the ability to get out of this. It looks like the hamburger menu appears, but I don't have the ability to get out, so I have to use the home button, which is a little confusing. So all in all, everything seems to be working. So I will say, because this does have a store and some other things, I will say that I'm impressed with this app builder now, and I'm leaning more towards potentially using this in the future. I love the idea of real-time updates. I liked the price. I still have concerns about how you could support a model where you're only charging a couple $100s for a lifetime, and it would include storage and user management. But again, that's up for you to decide. So I just wanted to do that follow-up video. And lastly, I did want to note that after requesting that refund via WhatsApp, I did get a notification on my credit card statement that it is posting, so it does look like that refund is actually coming through within a couple of days without any issues. So all in all, I think that this platform is much more appealing to me now than it was in the first video. So I hope this was helpful and shows you all a little bit more about this Gappsy platform. And for those of you that were wondering, if you are interested in publishing, you have the publishing option here. So when you go to the publication option, that's where you would build your different options. So for example, you would build your Android or iOS bundles and publish them to the store. So that is one thing to note. So again, I hope this was helpful. If you have any questions or comments, drop them in the comment box below. And also let me know if you have a favorite codeless app builder, and if so, which one, and if you think I should do a review of it. I will see you all in the next video.